Oh, good morning, everybody. It's the next day, obviously. Just woke up, got up. We got some new neighbors. Got some neighbors down there. Not them, the one on the other side. They've been here all week. That was my work. I just want to make sure. So we got some new vehicles. So we got some different, got some new people here. Got one up there. There. Someone staying in the cabin. I didn't realize I was on manual. My bad. There we go. Got a camper up there. There. The guy down there. And then we got this guy right here. So we're going to rail line today. And we having fun. We're going to the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. Except we're not going to the museum. We're going on a 4-hour train ride today. Saying you guys are coming along for the ride. So I'll see you at the Tennessee Valley, well, Hiwassee Loop Railroad, scenic railroad. So here we are just waiting for the train. The train just pulled into the station, I guess if you're going to call it a station, and we're just waiting for the all aboard. Now we are inside the parlor car, or the very last of the car. Has a upper deck on it, and since it has the observation deck on top, they actually allowed us to go up there later on in the trip. Was actually really cool, since there was only allowed 12 people on the very back. And of course, as you may know, I am a train enthusiast, so taking videos of the end of the train going down the track was pretty much a no-brainer. And away we go. There's a couple of classic cars out in the car lot. It looks like an old classic car club that came and joined the railroad today.
Coming up here, this is the bridge tender's house right there. The railroad built that house. They paid somebody to live here. And every time a steam locomotive went across the bridge, he had to carry buckets of water, and wherever the steam engine set the bridge on fire, he had to put it down.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And that low building across the river with the cow on top of it is the web runner's store. They own the bridge tender's house now, so you can stop there. They'll rent you the rooms out of the house and the whole house. They'll also rent you rafts that go floating down the river. See that line of rocks between us and the store building that goes all the way across the river? That line of rocks is a 2,000-year-old fishing weir built by the Native Americans.
So basically we're going to be continuing on down the line, zipping around the Hiwassee Loop. So basically what the Hiwassee Loop is a giant loop. It's an engineering marvel. Basically a loop, a track that loops over itself. One of the most engineering marvels of its time.
Amir said that the sun sparkles on the Hiwassee River like 1,000 shattered jewels. And he come out of the woods and he said, we're going to take the track a little further south past the switchbacks. We get to Bald Mountain, we're going to start circling the mountain. 1% grade. We're going to go around the mountain and keep getting higher the further we go around until we can bridge over to the high ground and cross 2 layers of track, 2 lower levels of track. They didn't think they could afford that much grading and track material, so they compromised. Instead of 2 full circles at 1 3/4 circles, at a 1.5% grade instead. That's what was built. That is the Great Hiwassee Loop, among about 5 other names that it has. We'll go through that loop twice today. The loop will not reverse the direction of the train. We'll face all points of the compass at least once, and then 75% of them a second time. But when the track comes back to itself, there's about 80 feet between, and I don't want to jump 80 feet to the train, so the loop will not change the direction of the train because it just doesn't work that way. The purpose of the loop is to climb the mountain.
So here we are passing by a powerhouse generator of some sort that'll be on our left with a beautiful suspension bridge. And coming up on our right, you also see a pipe, giant pipe that pipes the water up and down the mountain, which is pretty cool if you ask me that. Then we're going to continue on around the mountain, keep on going by the river. Not quite to the mountain just yet around the loop. So real quick, I just want to make sure I let you guys know, I know it's kind of deep into the video so far, but I want to basically apologize for the sun glare. I didn't realize that there was a such thing as tulips on for cameras on the DSLR, so I do have a tulip now, so you don't have to worry about it anymore in the upcoming videos. So hopefully that will resolve it. So you have to bear with me on the non-tulip, which basically corrects the sun, so that way the sun doesn't glare on the lens, and as you can see, a lens flare. So there's a bunch of the parts of these videos that you're going to see that, but we get past that and we'll continue on. So here we are approaching the Hiwassee Loop trestle. So that trestle right there, we will be going over after we go across all the different loops going around the mountain. So we are just now starting at the base of the mountain, working our way up the grade.
Right, here we go, over the loop trestle, look down both sides, 80 feet high loop trestle.
Very cool. All the way down.
And yes, that track that you see down there, we were just down there.
The last train load of material was pulled out. L&N immediately ripped up the tracks. That is remarkable because they didn't own them. We don't know if TVA gave them to them, sold them to them, or just didn't notice when the L&N took off with them. But the federal government, using government intelligence, was determining how many feet of new rail each railroad should receive each year during World War II. And so if that wasn't enough, well, too bad. You just had to stretch it out and make it work. So L&N needed that rail elsewhere, so they took off with it.
So here we are at our final stop for the day, which they're going to cut the locomotives off and they're going to run it to the back of the train, and we're just going to basically switch points. So now, instead of being at the very back of the train like we were coming, we will be at the front of the train, right behind the locomotives, which is usually the favorite part of the whole entire journey. Once finally coupled to the train on the rear, which is now the front car, we then proceed back down the main line, back to where we once started, to the parking lot, and then around the Hiwassee Loop once again, around the gorge and everything, by the loop and everything.
I will start out with a local favorite here. I hear banjos, we better paddle faster, folks. Yeah, that's right.
That guy was freaking amazing. He did a great job on the banjo. Absolutely phenomenal job. What a great conductor. So here, me and my nephew are standing at the door, so we're going to be having a bunch of outside shots for the rest of the journey all the way back to the parking lot. This is the section of the track that the engineer really picked up speed, so as you notice the camera will start bobbing back and forth. Engineer really picked up speed on this line. So pretty much after the train ride, which there wasn't really much after that, it was just a short little, maybe about 5 miles, maybe 4 miles after that, and we made it back to the starting point at the parking lot where we departed. The next scenes here are the Chattanooga Choo Choo. It's the famous Chattanooga Choo Choo of Tennessee, obviously of Chattanooga. Here I'm going to climb on this old antique steam locomotive. Always a huge fan of the steam locomotive. It's amazing. I love trains. And to be able to climb up in one, freaking awesome. This used to be a terminal station once for the railroad way back in its heyday. Now it's just the famous Chattanooga Choo Choo. Once again, I do apologize for the lens flare. I did not realize that there was a such thing as a tulip for a DSLR camera. Now I do realize that, and I know what the intended purpose of it is. So apologies for the lens flare. Oh, look at that. Gift of the Southern Railway, 1949. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna ring it. That's loud. That's loud. This section is the old station that obviously the trains would pull in and you would depart, you would board, and obviously depart from this terminal. I believe these are just all under restoration. I think they're actual restaurants. They're converting them into restaurants, I believe. Yes, you'd be correct about that. In fact, yes, all these old traditional passenger cars have been converted into either Airbnbs or restaurants to eat at. So we're at the Chattanooga Choo Choo, right here in Chattanooga. And this is actually pretty cool. Old famous steaming. Famous little steaming. I know it's a little bright, but this is the old terminal building. Continuing on, here we go into the old terminal building, which is just a grand, beautiful masterpiece. Oh, wow. There's a couple restaurants in here, and also there is the hotel check-in. So you can also go to a hotel. The Chattanooga Choo Choo has been converted into a hotel, so you can stay here if you would like. Continuing on, we leave the terminal station, the Chattanooga Choo Choo, and we go into downtown. We start walking up and down the streets just to check out downtown Chattanooga, just to see what it's all about. Okay, so welcome to downtown, as I like to call it. I don't know why I call it downtown, but here we got this corner building, which is a restaurant that we did end up eating at. You have to be 21 and older only to enter in and eat at. Obviously, it's a bar and restaurant, but I don't understand why, but hey, it is what it is. So 21 and older, we went in and had a drink, sat down, and had a good old time. Service was a little slack, a little slow at times. They didn't have the greatest people there to do, well, let's just say the service was a little slow, it was a little slack, but nonetheless, the food was good. Now, these are the stairs that you had to go up to get upstairs, which we did. We went upstairs to 8, which you could see in the previous clips. These are the stairs you have to go down, so imagine if you had a little bit too much to drink. Alright guys, well that is all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. There are plenty more videos to come. Plenty more footage. Again, apologies for the lens flare once again because I never had a tulip on my camera, so you had the sun glaring on the lens and that ends up being a lens flare. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a big old fat like and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.